How you perking? I hope you're perking good. So, November 2022 predictions video. We are about to dive in and take a look at all the things that we are meant to have a heads up about. What do we need to know? What are we allowed to know? What can we know about all kinds of things with November 2022? Of course, on here, as usual, this is open internationally, so it's not just looking at what the US is going to see in November. We're looking everywhere. We're looking everywhere. So don't worry if you're in a different country. We're looking at you too, okay? Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into this. I am a licensed mental health clinician as well as a spiritual intuitive, and in these videos we take a look at the tea with the tarot. And today we're gonna pull up the cards over here. Come on, Racha. And we're gonna look at the November predictions. So Penelope over here in her little matching pinks. The reason why I'm in a weird exercisey thing. Let me move this microphone right here. Move her. The reason why I'm in a little exercisey thing today is because later on today I'm supposed to do some goat yoga. So if I remember to take some pictures and or videos of goat yoga while I'm at goat yoga, if I can remember to do that instead of just getting completely enveloped in baby goats, then I will put that as the B-roll at the end of this video. If I forget to take pictures and videos of goats, you will still get a B-roll at the end of this video. It'll just be my little puppies and their shenanigans instead. So either you're gonna get little puppies, little 8-pound puppies, or you're gonna get little baby goats. So stay tuned for the end at the B-roll there. Alrighty, so let me get shuffled up here, and as I'm getting shuffled up, of course, this is all alleged, just my interpretation, okay? All alleged, just my interpretation, as always. And we'll go ahead and mention that, as usual, there will be a second video here today. We always do 2 videos whenever we're doing the monthly predictions. There's one video with basically everything that you could think of: politics, economy, health and wellness, the finance stuff, love stuff, spiritual stuff, career, general stuff, whatever, in the first video. But then there's usually a second video that we do for the Perk Squad that has what else do we need to know, what else, if anything, about that month can we know, and we take a look into that. So Perk Squad, you're going to get an extended video here if you'd like to be a member of the Perk Squad to get exclusive videos like that and weekly forecasts and all these little emojis and your own set of Penelope eyeballs next to your name, and video shout outs like this one. Shout out to you, Ben Conroy, and thank you for being a member of the Perk Squad. Shout out to you, Ben Conroy. Thank you for being a member. If you want all of that, then the join button in blue down below or the link in the description box can take you there. So there you go. Alrighty. November 2022. Let's start with politics. We always start with politics because #shitshow. So, with politics, what can we expect in November 2022 as it relates to politics? Let's take a peek here. And at the time of filming this, because just in case it's relevant, sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. Let's see if I can get my phone to show this. Okay, 2:07 p.m. on October 30th, Sunday, October 30th. Do you see that there? So, don't know when I'm going to be able to get these videos up for everybody to see, but that's the point that I am filming these, several days in advance, because I want to get this up and out to y'all soon. But just so you know, if some fuckery happens as a result of dates, this was filmed then. So, let's see. Do we need any context on any of these things? Let's get one right here on y'all. That will probably end up being its own thing. Okay, so let's just dive into this. This is already interesting. So, November 2022, politics. We already get the very first card here is our High Priestess card. She is veiled in secrecy. She's right here stuck between the light and the dark, veiled in secrecy. So we're already talking about some hidden shenanigans going on in politics. Y'all who've been watching this channel for a long time know that whenever I see this guy right here, this is my fuckboy card. He goes in and he goes out super fast. No pun intended, but yes, pun intended. This is our fuckboy card. And so when we're getting hidden energy and fuckboy energy as the two first preliminary energies in politics for November, that, dear God. Okay then. And with the Page of Wands in reverse, this is like not being able to get a clear message out. So because of whatever's going on that's secret and it's got that, fuckboy energy behind it and not able to get a clear message out, this is going to lead to a lot of confusion. And not only confusion, but this is going to also bring forward probably some anger, because as people feel like things are as clear as mud, then people start to get really pissed because they think you're hiding something or you're fucking around with something. And so I see people getting pissed thinking things aren't being done, fairly, that things are being done in secrecy or things are being done with shenanigans, that we can't trust something to be clear. And I see this is like, hey, work on this again, try harder, check it out again, take another look at this, work on it. It's just this kind of like push from people to ask for this. Then over here, when these are going to be on their own, we've got this group of people, and it's a Pentacles card, so they're working together. Anytime you see a group of people working together, I kind of give a little bit of a side eye like so, because in politics, it just happens to end up that way. I wish I wasn't so jaded and I could be like, people working together in politics, that makes me happy. That makes me excited. Collaboration. Yeah, teamwork. But usually it's I'll scratch your back if you scratch mine, or you better put this through because if you don't, then I'll do this to you. You know what I mean? And so you see that, then you see these partnerships and further collaborations on it, and it's kind of like, hey, we're in a pact together. We're in a pact, okay? It's you and me, again, quid pro quo, stuff like that. And the Wheel of Fortune is kind of like, this is the way the wheels turn. This is the way things move forward. This is just the way it goes, time in, time out. That's what it is. And so there's something shifty. There's something shifty afoot in November 2022 politically, which does not surprise me, but it does disappoint me. So given this, I think let's ask for a little bit more on this scenario so we can see what else we're kind of looking at relative to this. Okay, politically, spirit guides, what else can we know? November 2022. All right, let's just pop out a devil card right front and center, why don't we? Yeah, let's do that, huh? Not that we're wanting to make this dramatic or anything. Jesus Lord. So, okay. We see him here. Why don't we get a context card on him? Yeah, let's see a little bit more about him, Devil card. All right, so we've got this King of Wands in reverse. Don't know who this dude is, but whoever this guy is, he's in the reverse position, so they're not speaking too highly of him. Sometimes I talk about this as being a disadvantaged position, but since he came up as a context card on the Devil card, I'm not going to assume that he's super disadvantaged. I'm going to assume that he's probably a little bit of a piece of shit. At best, a piece of gum that you step your shoe in on the asphalt, which isn't quite as bad as stepping in shit. So, but that's at best. So whoever he is and whatever he's doing, he knows what he's doing, and it's manipulative, it's deceptive, it's toxic, and he is involved in whatever political changes, I guess, are coming, because this Two of Pentacles, it's a change card, but in the upright it would be something changing from one thing to another. In the reverse, it's kind of like something not being able to change fully, like this kind of paused energy, or oops, we dropped the ball, whoops, we dropped the ball, or whoops, you dropped the ball, I'm sorry, you dropped the ball, or whoops, I dropped the ball, oh, clumsy me, you know. So it's I don't see things getting to pass forward in a proper way, and this dude has some sort of involvement in that, some kind of a way. And with the Empress card coming up over here, this is one of the most powerful cards in the tarot. And this is an energy about, I want to sow my seeds and watch them flourish in a certain way. And so it looks like there's this idea of, hey, we've got to get planted in there, and we've got to get things to grow the way we want them to grow. And if that means we can't kind of switch things over and let things flow the way they're supposed to do, so be it. Let's go ahead and keep things the way they need to stay, you know, whatever. And so there's some weird, incredible influence here that doesn't look good around that. So let's see, let's flesh out more about what we've got going on up there. Yeah, see? Unsurprising, let me move this one. The Empress and the Emperor in the tarot are married, and so this is like the power dynamic of ultimate, you know, ultimate culmination of powerful energies here. And this is just the divine feminine form of it, the divine masculine form of it. So here it's not making much difference. But what they're doing is, it's interesting that they put that on here, because that means in whatever ways you've got one half doing this, you have the other half doing this as well, because both of those halves into that whole. And if you are noticing, person card, person card, person card, person card, you know, these are kings and queens and emperors and empresses galore over here. And so even though they are really making this one man be a standout person in this situation, in this devil card situation, this isn't the only person whose hands are dirty. We've got other people here. We've got at least two kind of feminine energies emerging, and at least two kind of masculine energies emerging. So we've got a cluster of people, a mix of female and male, that is contributing. They are contributing to whatever this devil energy is, this toxic shit, that's not letting things change and transform in the direction that it looks like would be a part of the flow. This is kind of interrupting the flow some sort of a way, influencing the flow some sort of a way that feels, again, toxic, disingenuous, problematic, unhealthy. You know, you see these people here, they're freaking chained to this. They're bound by this. They can't get out. They're trapped. They're enslaved to this. And so what is it that is enslaving these people to play out the way that they're playing this out? And who's pulling the strings here? We know that this guy is the ultimate string puller, but we've got a couple of other energies, people energies, that they are helping, they are assisting, they are a part of this some sort of a way. If nothing else, they are complicit bystanders that aren't speaking up and they know something. So even if it's that, that's still not much better. That's still not much better. So down here on this bottom row, politically speaking, again, we're going to have that weird mix where there's going to be certain people that feel like they're picking up on this. And so look, This is that kind of fighting card. Like, hey, I'm going to stand up for this. I'm going to stand my ground. I'm going to stand up for this, and I'm going to go against this. Even if it's little on me, going against all of these other ones, I'm going against this. And so you're going to see this kind of, rebellious thing where we are competing for who gets to play the protagonist here. And one side wants to be the one seen as the hero, when really the other side is, I don't want to even say the other side is more of the hero, because remember, we had both halves of the whole coming here, so it doesn't look particularly great for either side, if I'm going to be honest. But there's one side that's exceptionally manipulative this go around, for whatever reason. And I see them kind of playing a card to try to look, like, again, the protagonist in the story, when really that's disingenuous. It's not exactly what we're looking at here. But it comes after something here where that we have also this, success card and this celebration card. These are the two on either side of this person. And so here you go, having this person being like, I know the truth and I know what's going on, but then these are the people that are actually celebrating. And so there's some weird hidden mix, and people are going to be able to see this. People are going to be able to point this out. And I don't know the extent people are going to be able to do much about it, like effect any real change. But there's going to be stuff here that doesn't pass the sniff test, and it's going to be obvious to people. It feels like here we've got this kind of system where before people may not have noticed it as much or, spoke up about it as much. But now that we've got the devil card showing here, people are going to be able to see this from a mile away. You're not going to be able to get away with stuff without people picking up on that. People are more perceptive and intuitive now than they ever have been. And this is going to be a little bit of an upset, a little bit of a blow up type of energy here politically. Oh boy. So, once again, political shit show. And once again, not surprised. I gotta move on to some other categories here because we haven't even touched the economy and finance yet. And we are already like 20 minutes into this basically. So we need to look at the economy and finance. A lot of people care about that, myself included. So let me shuffle up here with all that. My hair keeps getting into my eyes. My hair is exceptionally big today. I did that thing where after I shower, I put my, I dried my hair, but then I wrapped it up in a little pineapple on the top of my head, as a lot of curly girls do, and slept in it that way. And when I woke up, man, I should have taken a picture of it. Everything was literally straight out of the sides like this. Just coming straight out. And I was like, oh shit. And so I was trying to pull it down and, coming out with my fingers gently and kind of get it to come down and zhuzh it at the roots to get it to disperse. And so it is exceptionally wide today. On camera, it probably looks normal because for whatever reason, everything on camera looks a little bit normal. And when in real life, when you look normal on camera, you're going to look small, limp, and sick. But then if you have everything too big, fake lashes too big, hair too big, lipstick or something too bold and big and all of that, or crazy amounts of makeup or something on camera, it's going to look normal. So this probably looks normal to y'all, but let me tell you, in real life, this shit is huge. Can you tell? So, Lord help me, it keeps getting my eyes. Economy, November 2022. The economy. What are we looking at with economy? Again, this is open globally, so finance and economy 2022. I'm a little scared to peek. A little scared to peek. Oh, man. Okay, so with economy, do I want to have, of course I need to have one on you over there. Okay, so the reason why I wanted an extra context card over here is because y'all know if we're talking about this type of stuff, whether it's like government, economy, etc., he comes up a lot of times as my President Joe Biden card, and he's coming up here in a way where they're not trying to trash talk him. You know, they're bringing him up in the upright position. They're not trying to shit talk him. So I wanted to pull another card on it. They give me the 6 of Wands upright, which is to say that it's something in November. He's going to try to do something that helps him to look successful, like a good achiever. This is somebody that is proud and they can hang their wreath high on their horse as they march back into town, and people, you know, give them a nice little applause or whatever. And so he's going for that. He's wanting that. So I don't know what it is that he's going to kind of try to pull out of his pocket to get that reaction from people, but it looks like in November he's going to pull something out to do that. Now, if he's genuinely doing a good thing, then fucking awesome. We'll take it, won't we? I mean, I'll take it if it's a good thing. But it does look like, you know, this guy is a proud guy on his horse, and a lot of what he's doing is about appearances. Now, that's not unique to President Biden. Any politician does things for appearances to help themselves look good, because that's how you play the game in politics. That's not unique to him, but I'm seeing that he's fixing to pull one of those maneuvers in November 2022. That being said, the things that come up before that, the Temperance card is in reverse, which is something about timing not being correct. This is going to be weird to say, because what I'm saying that's coming to me doesn't make sense to me now. It will make sense to us later when November passes, but it doesn't make sense to me now. And so it's going to be hard to interpret, but there's something about the timing not being correct, something that's inaccurate about the timing of something, timing of events, or timing of how people calculated something, or how people defined something economically, government, something like that, and there's something wrong or inaccurate about timing. I don't know what that means now. We will find out what that means when the month passes by, but there's something weird about that. And so in a way, with this Magician card, he would be able to, for lack of a better way of putting it, like take credit for something that potentially, again, it's not quite accurate, because this timing thing. So the only thing that, like, what they're putting in my head is a way to try to describe this, and this isn't necessarily the exact thing, but this is what they're giving me to try to describe this. You know how, basically, if you have raw data for anything, you can get a statistician to package the data to make results look this way, and you can get a statistician to package the data and make results look this way. You can manipulate data to look any kind of way depending on how you're packaging and presenting it, you know, and statisticians know that, like, oh, let's put it this way, and, you know, now the graph makes it look like this, whereas if we say it this way, now it kind of looks like this. And so there's something here that seems like off, inaccurate, incorrect, and timing has something to do with that, but the way that it's packaged will look successful for President Biden. And it doesn't look like completely untruthful, because they're not shit talking him. He's in the upright position here. It's just that it's a stretch or something, or like it's one of those, I see what you did there. You know what I mean? It's like that. Oh, God. This will make sense when it makes sense. It's in November. It'll come to light and we'll be like, that's where you were going with that. Oh, man, that's so hard to describe. But Interesting. And whatever that is, it looks like in some way that's going to work for him. Because again, these cards are in the upright position. So in some way, there's going to be people that are consuming this information and be like, okay, and I might be one of them. Shit, I don't know. But just a heads up that we're seeing that. Also going on economically, we have things down here where the Nine of Wands, this person is my Rocky Balboa card because they have been through the fucking ringer, but they are still standing. And that's kind of what we're seeing for the economy. It's like it's going through the ringer. It's been through the ringer. It's still going to keep going through the ringer, but it's still standing. So for people out there that are I've heard people be like, oh, there's going to be a massive crash where everything comes crumbling down and we implode on ourselves. And, it's just this kind of, I don't know, like a Mad Max type of dystopia or whatever. Like, I'm not seeing that, at least not right now, at least not in November. I'm not seeing that kind of a thing. This is a resilience to say, hey, I'm still trying to kick it. I'm still trying to go with it. I'm still pushing forward. And this Hermit card, though, this is kind of a pulling inward. So it does look like they're going to be this, look Italian. But I don't think I have any Italian in my lineage. I don't think so. But anyway, it just reminds me, I'm sorry, I know this is, nobody cares, but it reminds me, one of Julio's, coworkers always goes like, Julio, like that to say hello to him. And Julio's like, I don't know why he does that to me. I'm Mexican, I'm not Italian. But he always does like that to me. And he's like, I don't know, I'll have to ask him one day. He thinks it's hilarious. He doesn't think like, you're calling me Italian when I'm Mexican. No, he thinks it's funny. And so anyway, that's random. But moving here, inward. We're talking about inward because of the Hermit card. That's why we did this with our hands, because we're talking about inward. And so people will be pulling inward. People will be slowing down on their spending. They will start thinking more about savings. They will start thinking a little bit more before they try to take out a loan or stuff like that. So I see this condensing, this slowing, this pulling inward in November, which doesn't look like it's a terrible idea per se. I get this Queen of Wands card in the upright position, which is to say people would be doing the best they can with what they have. And it doesn't, again, look super terrible. So for people that are really, really worried about the economy in November, I don't see here, again, those worst case scenarios, but I do see really trying to keep standing back up after every fucking punch. You get punched in the liver and you try to stand back up. And I do see people feeling like they have to make their own personal decisions to pull things inward, slow down, and kind of settle into a different pace, because of adapting to some of these things. So this isn't the energy of thriving, but this also isn't the energy of shutting down, collapsing either. So we're still floating. We're still treading water. We're still staying afloat from what it shows. What else, if anything, do we need to know about economy in November 2022? What else, if anything, can we know? Do we need to know about economy November 2022? Okay, let's take a peek. All right, again, not the worst set of cards, not the worst. I do see that there are going to be certain pockets of the world, certain pockets, it might be like country dependent, where they're actually going to be succeeding pretty well in November, like that there's some kind of a burst of something that gives them in particular an extra leg up. So let's say, I'm pulling stuff right out of my ass on this, but let's just say there's certain countries that now everybody wants their oil, and so suddenly they're doing better. There's certain countries, well, now everybody wants another thing that they offer, and suddenly they're doing better. Like, I see some kind of a thing like that with certain pockets around the world. But then for some others, I'm seeing a little bit of an opposite thing. I'm seeing this kind of switcheroo in a not good direction, where because they made sudden moves, the sudden moves backfired. So I see some countries being like, oh, I see the writing on the wall, let's do this about it. And they take a too hard, too fast overcorrection, and shoot themselves in the foot a little bit with it, and cause people to suffer the consequences of those actions. So there's going to be certain pockets that overcorrect around the globe, and it's going to be problematic. So if you see that your country has something to offer that seems pretty good right now, y'all are probably going to be pretty set in November. But if you are one of those countries that you think, hey, I think I'm seeing my government be a little bit reactive, acting a little bit too quickly out of fear, trying to come up with policy after policy after policy or whatever, then y'all are probably going to have, I hate to say it, a little bit of a rough November if you feel like your country is kind of pulling this. So just think about how your country is handling this economic stuff, and you'll know if you're in this camp or if you're in this camp based on what you've been seeing for your own government. But again, with this Ace of Swords upright, I don't see this big total failure right now. I see this, again, trying to be resilient, trying to push through. Also with the Ace of Swords upright, there's a clarity inherent in that, where, how do I put this? More people who had no idea what any of this meant or what it means are going to be educating themselves on that and adding their own voice into the mix, starting to put their own opinions out there, starting to learn more about what's actually going on and what can actually be helpful. And they're starting to push more for that, advocate more for that, vote more for that. And so I'm seeing a little bit more of a like layman's insurgents kind of a thing going on here in a way that could potentially be pretty powerful in the future. I don't know if it will really be able to take full hold in November, but we've got that budding. So very interesting. Let's take a look at another category here. Let's look at health, wellness. I know people are worried about the COVID. I know people are worried about flu. I know people are worried about the fact that in the United States, at least us up here on the northern hemisphere, we're getting cold weather coming in, and we're worried about keeping warm and having energy and power and gas and things that can keep us healthy and well. And so let's take a look at how any of those things can come to pass and influence stuff for us. Again, this is all electric, just my interpretation. Everything that I've been saying here today, I feel like I haven't repeated it yet throughout the video, so I want to repeat it now. And again, repeating that there will be an extended Perk Squad video at the end of this one for anybody who wants to click that blue join button or get the link in the description to see the extended videos. Probably about like 80 or 90 videos over there in the Perk Squad by now, for crying out loud. So if you ended up watching everything on my channel and you, for whatever reason, want to see more of me, weirdos, just kidding, then you got plenty over there you can watch, backlogged. All right, so health and wellness and all the things under that roof that we can take a look at right now, spirit guides. What can we know in terms of November 2022? Okay, y'all. Not bad. Not bad. All right. So for people who are really worried about that kind of thing, because again, this weather that we've got, at least in the northern hemisphere, is kind of bringing these fears and concerns to the forefront for a lot of people, especially people who maybe are struggling more to keep warm this year than normal, and they're worrying about their immune systems and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of things here. This is overall not that bad. I will take a look into this one because this one might be shifty, but overall we're looking at good stuff, okay? So overall, I'm seeing that more people are going to be able to provide for themselves in the way that they need to have, again, the heat that they need, to have the medical care that they need, or whatever. More people are going to be able to make that happen for themselves than are concerned about it. So certainly there's going to be some people that still struggle. That's the case, a lot of the time. But on the whole, if there's 100 people really, really freaking the hell out of it, then freaking the hell out about it. I don't know how to speak English anymore. Then let's say there's only a few people out of that 100 that actually literally couldn't get things to pull together for themselves. So this is looking promising that if you're really, really worried about it, there seems to be avenues forward that you would be able to take, resources that you would be able to get connected with that can help you to pull forward and maintain and cover what you need to cover so that you and your family don't fall through the cracks with this. So there's some positive things forward in terms of what people can connect themselves to. There's also some positive things forward here. This is kind of like a twofer type of card. One, it's got that medical caduceus type of symbol here. And so again, we're talking about health and the medical healthcare systems and all of that. This is in the upright position with the strength card next to it. So again, it's like we're still staying strong. We're trying our best. We're doing what we can. And so I'm not seeing like huge concerns with like hospital overcrowding and stuff like that. At least, we were really concerned about that when COVID hit, initially in like late 2019 and early 2020. That was a real problem. And I'm just not seeing those kind of, problems happening again, a big resurgence of that. I'm seeing that we've got, again, some kinds of things in place to be able to account for this stuff. And so I'm seeing this, stay as strong and as resilient as it can. I'm also getting here, again, how I said this is a twofer. Here's this like relationship type of card here. I'm seeing some new relationships form in healthcare. And again, this could be in certain pockets around the globe, may not be everywhere, but certain relationships form where, how do I put it? Let's see. Let me come up with an example. Here's an example. Like back when Rona hit, there were a lot more companies connecting together to offer telehealth services so that access to healthcare services could be expanded in ways that they weren't already expanded. People changed policies such that more providers would be permitted to bill using telehealth services so they could actually offer something, and it could be, something that medically they could bill for and be able to offer that to people. There were things like that took place because people made those connections between providers that were licensed to provide those services and people that would pay for it, like Medicaid systems here in the United States, and people that were like, hey, we'll offer that, like, departments for mental health services and stuff like that. And these, people were coming together in ways that they hadn't come before. I see in certain pockets around the world more kind of collaborative joinings like that to cover gaps in care. So again, that might be where this kind of resourcefulness comes in to kind of help people to not fall through the cracks at whatever rate people are worried about that happening. So I see those things kind of coming together in certain areas. It's going to be positive. The Empress card coming here upright. this is the card, she's got the biggest crown, the biggest corona. And so we have talked in videos before that sometimes when she comes up, when we're talking about health and wellness, that it does relate to the COVID thing that I still don't know if I'm allowed to say on this videos, damn. And so with this being in the upright position next to this card, that's why I was like, what is this? Why is this one? This is the only one that's a little weird to me, is this one. So I'm going to get more on this little section. Overall, this looks good. We're going to get to that, but more on this little section here about the COVID stuff. All right, one at a time. Alrighty, so this card, the reason why I'm like, why? This is a little shifty looking, because this is about making decisions, but it's making decisions a little bit blindfolded, if you can see that she's in a blindfold here. So I'm like, what do you mean by that? And then we get the Fool card, which usually doesn't mean foolish, but sometimes it comes up and it does. And because we're talking about blindfolded decisions and secrecy, then it does feel like we're talking about foolish, some decisions being foolish, because we're making decisions blindly from something that's kind of secret or hidden or not quite clear, transparent, and fair. And so that is interesting to me. As it relates to COVID in November, there's going to be some sort of decision that people can make. But if they're making that decision, they're making it blindfolded, which is a bit of a foolish thing to do because of something that's not completely transparent or clear and is a little bit kind of, holding information back or secret. That is a little bit controversial sounding right here. So I'm going to go ahead and say I am not a doctor. I am not an immunologist. I do not know jack shit about that. I'm not telling you what decisions to make or not to make relative to COVID, but I'm just a girl reading cards, and this is all alleged and all just my interpretation, and that's weird. So I'm putting that down there. Any last little things y'all are allowed to say on this before we get ourselves in trouble? The Victim card. My hands are tied. Fortunately, it's in the reverse position, which means you don't have to be a victim. Your hands don't have to be tied. You can make a decision and get out of that. It doesn't have to be that way. You have choices. Some choices are good. Some choices are not so good. Think about that with your discernment first before you move forward. This is let's not move forward until we think about it first. Pause and think, and then maybe we can move forward. That's all I'm going to say on that, because I think this is tiptoeing in some controversial property, land, territory. And I don't want to go there and get my shit removed off of YouTube. So take whatever it's giving you here, vet it through your own internal guidance systems, see what it's saying. Overall, in terms of health and wellness, overall, this is a great card to see. Overall, in November, some of the biggest, worst fears around health and wellness, again, looks like we're getting to avoid some of that. So November overall, thematically here, is saying, yeah, there's some controversies. Yeah, there's some scandals politically. Yeah, there's some shit shows going on. Yeah, there's some, different pockets of the economy that are going to be like, that you kind of wish you weren't in that particular country or whatever. But overall, we're seeing a theme here in November about resilience, a theme here in November about we get to kind of escape the worst case scenarios, that we're still treading water and staying afloat and getting to, go another day kind of thing. And so there's a lot of hope and promise to that. I think that we have to take our silver linings wherever we can get it so that we don't fall into the trap of fatalistic thinking, lest we want to manifest those fears, which I don't think we do. So it's good to balance our perspectives, taking the good with the bad with the good. So that's what I'm seeing here. I am going to do another reading again on the Perk Squad for everybody that wants to be on the Perk Squad. If you'd like a private reading from me, and you want to, get answers to some questions, or you want to know what your spirit guides are trying to tell you, or, anything like that, then you can schedule a private reading on my website at BeasTalksAndTarot.com. You can also schedule some Reiki energy healing if you feel like you need to get an energy tune-up, remove any blockages, see where you might have some things going a little bit wrong in the body, some flow not going the way it's supposed to flow energetically, that you want to get that figured out and release it and all of that. Then you can do a Reiki energy healing. If you want life coaching where you're like, you know what, I just feel stuck, stressed out, just totally disengaged with this. What do I do about this? Where do I go? How do I make this work? Then we can do life coaching. And if you want to learn to read cards the way that I read cards, then that's on there as well. So lots of stuff on my website. Check it out, BeasTalksAndTarot.com. And Perk Squad, I'm coming at you with a second video and extended to see what else in November 2022 can we know. And stay tuned for a B-roll. Hopefully the B-roll will be little baby goats in yoga, because that is what I'm ready for. So hopefully that's what it'll be. But if it ends up not being that because I forgot to take pictures or couldn't or whatever, then puppy shenanigans. You're going to have some fucking puppy shenanigans. So either way, there it will be. Perk Squad, I'm coming at you. And for everybody else, don't be a stranger. Come back and see me, and I will talk at you later. Bye, y'all.
So we'll go ahead and get started. We'll just find a comfy seated position. Whatever that looks like for you is fine. That's crisscross applesauce, if that's a butterfly, whatever works for you. Use it out of your crate to be my guest. Left shoulder as close as you can. If you'd like, you can reach to the left and up. Add a little extra stretch. Pulling your right shoulder down as far as you can.
He's the animal whisperer.
I'm just checking with your breath here.
Pretending to do yoga.
Slowly shake it out. Knees will sit. Do something on the other side.
Pretending to do yoga.
Slowly shake it out. Knees will sit. Do something on the other side.
Hey, babies. Hey, my sweethearts. Use them on my puppies.
Slowly releasing. Returning to look over the left shoulder, dropping the chin, we'll find a flat circle, coming up to the right shoulder. And we'll go the opposite way. Doing small half circle. Head is the last thing from us.
Beepy.
I'm going to turn the face to the center. Feel free to join me, or you can keep facing whichever way you are. We're going to bring your feet a little wider than 6 here. Big breath in, arms overhead. You can maybe rock that side to side and stop. It's nice hand rolling over, hands down, with the knees and making it easy to go back and forth. Maybe pedal the feet one at a time.
Your little horns look good.
Just a reminder, one side will be weighted and the other, and that's okay. Maybe wiggle the toes on the side. Breathe in the knee, back a little bit. I love the baby.
Julio is incredibly excited to be in goat yoga. He's really excited about it. I think she's eating her tutu. Are you eating your tutu? Girl. spoiled rotten. Getting double pets. Double pet by 2 girls.
Yep. So cute.
That's cute. Hi, little babies. Alright, bunnies, y'all gotta go. Oh, baby. Oh my goodness, little bunny. Okay. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Does Artie get
Okay.
not until Tuesday morning?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay, baby.
Started today.
I want this bunny so bad.
She goes
Okay.
competition makes this the next round Monday, and then she's the final round.
This baby's hiding in my boob and my armpit.
Flights Monday at night.
I think the bunny just licked. Yeah, it's licking me.
Probably about 6 years ago.
Why are you licking me, little baby?
But you know, you can teach bunnies like how to use the litter box and just let them like hop around
Oh
your
my
house.
goodness. Oh my goodness. You just
Like
walked
they
behind.
will learn just like cats will learn.
Really?
You don't have a critter.
No, I already touched all of them.
You already touched all the critters. You're so little. This is a baby bunny. This is a baby bunny.
All these animals are very relaxed.
Oh, hey, little one.
Like,
Hey, baby.
last time I did goat yoga, the goats are trying to eat
Hey,
our
baby.
hair and eat our grass and eat everything. Like, they're like coming up close and like grabbing our hair and eating,
Hey,
chewing.
bunny. Hey, baby.
It was just like they were being crazy.
You being a cute baby.
But there were tons more of them.
This is a boop, boop, boop. Little baby pot. These are little baby ears. This is a baby ears. Oh my goodness. You keep booping me in the butt. You're gonna keep booping me in the butt. Oh my goodness, a little bitty bunny.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
That's a white bunny.
Aw, what a cute fluffy white ball.
He's got a little baby. And I
Do you love it?
Yeah, have you already held this one? Oh, yeah.
We have all passed them around.
I've got that bunny. Oh goodness. Is it recording?
Yeah.
I love animals. Me too.
Anybody want a little baby?
This right here, I'm
Oh my god, I got the goat in the background too.
Come back, buddy. No, don't eat that.
Little baby ears.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Got him in the background.
Snow White over here.
With snowflakes.
Your bunny.